Hello, welcome to the Carousel of Conversations. You're in for a real treat. Join us as we take a spin through the past, present, and future of all things Disney. Here, where there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a podcast away. Let the podcast begin.
I am very excited about today's episode.
Of course you are,
I always, that's a pet peeve of mine whenever you say that every episode.
It gives me the ick when you say that.
It gives me icky.
We were talking about the name of this episode, and Jesslyn and Noah both like the term ick, and I don't know why, but ick makes me feel icky.
I prefer it icky.
Exactly.
Like, just the word itself is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, just saying the word is like, oh, please stop. It's so painful.
You should never have told me that, RJ. RJ, you should never have told me that.
Well, now I'm telling all of
downfall.
YouTube, so.
That was downfall.
We should make RJ a t-shirt that just says ick.
Oh, no, it wouldn't work out very well. I would never wear it.
I feel icky in this icky t-shirt.
Noah's gonna have to put like a sticker on my back or something. That would be the only way it would work. Instead of kick me, it would just say that word.
Say it. What's the word?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's
I can't.
the word? Tell me, what's the word?
Of course, we start this podcast in like it's spring season, and now my allergies are like going crazy right now.
And I'm
Have
like,
you
I
heard me
have
for
to
the
sneeze.
past
What's
two
happening?
episodes? For the past two episodes, I've just been like coughing into the mic, and it's rather
I cough
disgusting.
jumping 24/7.
I'm so happy you can have
Jesslyn.
cough drops. I don't give you my
They're
dick.
so good. Maybe RJ. Whoa.
Okay, but for real, since we are talking about pet peeves, and we're talking about Disney pet peeves, of all things, pet peeves, that's what we're saying. No, just kidding.
We'll see.
What are
We'll see
your
about
in real life pet peeves? Like, you can't stand it. It drives you absolutely bonkers. What are your in real life pet peeves? Jesslyn?
Okay, we might need marriage counseling after this. My pet peeve is the fact that RJ's first cleaning chore. Am I saying that right? It just sounds
Chore.
really
Chore.
weird. Chore.
Chore.
Yeah. His
chore,
first
not
cleaning chore. It's not
You're
coming
saying
out
chore. You're saying chore. I never heard that word before. That's
You
It's
know
like-
what my pet
one.
peeve is?
Chore.
When people say chore.
right. Okay, RJ.
I think she's saying chore, like a drawer, but with like a tra.
Chore.
Yeah.
Chore.
Okay. Back to the beginning. My biggest
This
pet
is going
peeve
over well for you.
is when RJ's cleaning and the very first thing that he does is vacuum the floors. Before he does anything else, he vacuums the
I
floor.
don't do that though.
Yes, you do. It's the
No, I always save it till the end because I think like if I knock crumbs
Once-
off onto the ground while I'm cleaning the counters, anything like that, I wait until the very end. It's the last thing I do.
No. Okay.
I'm inclined to believe Jesslyn more honestly on this one.
No, it's true. I think like methodically, like if I knock crumbs onto the ground after I clean the countertop, like it's gonna drive me nuts that I've just vacuumed. So I wait until the very end to vacuum.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
She believes you, RJ. It's okay.
All right, Noah, what's your big pet peeve?
So I wasn't prepared for this, but I definitely have an answer. I think everyone can agree with this one. It's when people chew with their mouths open.
Oh, yeah.
That one's
that's
awful.
a pretty good
Yeah.
one.
That is the worst. Like,
Yeah.
you can't stand that one no matter where you are, what you're doing. That one is always bad.
Yeah, that one's bad.
So, like, do you eat around people when they're sick?
Yeah, because I like when you're sick with the stuffed up nose and you can't breathe through your nose. What do you do
I just
in
hold my
those
breath.
moments?
I just hold my breath. I just.
Oh, see, I just don't care at that point. I just eat with my mouth open.
You give me
Like
the ick,
that's
RJ.
probably the only time. But like But like, I'm doing it at home. Nobody's gonna see me except for Jesselyn and Bella. And like at that point, I'm sick. I just don't care.
I just hold my breath and just hope I don't pass out while eating.
All right, RJ, what's your pet peeve?
Well, I was gonna ask you, what's my pet peeve? Because I couldn't think of anything, and you probably know me more than I know myself.
Where to start?
I
It's
pick
gonna
on
be
you
a
a
good
lot
one.
about. I pick on you a lot about not changing out the toilet paper roll after
I
it's empty.
always change the toilet paper roll. I am the only person that changes the toilet paper roll.
It got so bad for a season that I started texting her even when she wasn't at home, and I'm like, Jesselyn, I just changed the toilet paper roll out.
I think we'll need to post on Instagram to see if there's any good marriage counselors out there that we could hire. We might need one after this episode with all the ick conversation and pet peeves.
Oh
and-
no! I'm gonna need counseling for that word.
So icky.
No, that's his pet peeve is when people say ick.
Say ick. Yes.
Yeah, that is a good one for sure. Well, today our episode is going to be talking about our Disney pet peeves. So we broken this down into different categories, like our Disney planning pet peeves, our line pet peeves, different things like that that we're going to be talking about. And so that's kind of we all three of us would say with a resounding yes that we love Disney. So like these are little nitpicky things. And it has to do more with the people at Disney than Disney itself. Like when you go to Disney World, people are
the
just
worst.
awful. And so majority of
all.
these, I would say, like 80% of these are probably not going to be with anything Disney related and are going to be more with the guests that are there than anything else.
Yeah, it's just like
that's what we get
people
the most
like
annoyed
don't
with.
know how to be civilized at
Yeah.
Disney
People.
World.
Yeah.
They kind of
And I feel like
go into
they're-
like a yarn.
Yeah. And I feel like a
Unravel.
lot of people are like, I spent so much money, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's like, yeah, but we did too. You know, like
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
it's like every
Right.
one of us did, and that's why we were here and that's why we got here. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to talk about what our biggest Disney pet peeves are. So let's go ahead and start with planning your actual trip. So you're getting ready to go to Disney, you're planning your actual trip. Jesselyn, what's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to Disney planning?
Okay, when it comes to Disney planning, specifically when other people are planning their trip, like it's not uncommon for people to say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go to Disney," and my very first question is, "Where are you staying?" As in, what resort are you staying at? And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna stay off property." And then it's like, in my brain, conversation is over. Like, we cannot talk anymore about this because you're not going to get the full experience if you stay off property.
Well, and I just don't get that. Like, I enjoy
it doesn't
staying
make
in the bubble.
sense.
Like, it actually ruins the trip for me staying off property. And
Yes.
it's not that much more expensive, if not less expensive to stay on property. So yeah, I'm getting on a rant because it's a pet peeve of mine too.
And there's just so much nice things that come along with it. And, like, the whole
Yeah.
experience is really pleasant. So, I don't know.
And like
I agree.
paying that extra, I don't know, however much per night it is worth it. Whatever you get to use the buses, the monorails, all of the
Yeah.
ferries, whatever you want, it's all in
Early
that cost.
park hours, extra park hours, all the stuff.
So you're getting more money from
Yeah.
your ticket, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and then like ticket bundles, like you get so much cheaper tickets by bundling it with your hotel room when you book your hotel room. So
Yeah.
people think
Or home and
I
car
saved
insurance.
$200. I saved $200 by going to the Hilton down the road, and it's like, yeah,
but now
you
you're gonna have to
spent
drive. You're gonna have
$600
to
more.
pay for parking at the parks.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do all
Yeah.
that.
So it all adds up to not be worth it, in my
Such an
opinion.
ick.
And it's just like, ugh. All right, Noah, what's your biggest pet peeve with planning?
I hate it whenever people are like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to Disney World, but it's fine. We'll only be there for like a few hours, get some of the top things done, and then just leave and act like it's a Cedar Fair park." when it is not.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
Everyone
You were
acts
there
like they're
all
like,
day.
yes.
Rope
The
drop
people
to
that are
park
like, I
close.
don't know. We'll just hang around for a couple hours, get something to eat, and leave. It's okay if you're a Florida resident. But if you are like flying or driving however many hours to get there, and you're just like, I don't know, it's just like, it's just like Cedar Fair or like Carowinds or something, it's fine.
Oh.
It is not.
No,
Those
it's
people are
not
just
okay.
like, no, you don't deserve to go
Well,
if you're acting like this.
And like what? If you're an annual pass holder, that's one thing, right? Because then you go all the time, and or like you said, a Florida resident that you can go all the time. You've got those annual passes, like that elderly couple we talked about last episode, where they just drive into Disney Springs, they go into Epcot, they have a meal, and then they leave. Like that's totally chill, and I would like be the first person to do that when I get old and retired, and all that stuff. But I think for the average person, the amount of money that they spend on this trip, you're thinking, you just spent all that money to go for like 3 hours. Now, yeah, sure, if I go to an amusement park down the road, that's exactly what I'm doing. But I'm also not spending $200 to go to the park for the day and only to ride
Kind
a few
of
rides.
along those lines too, because we don't really have a category for this, but it's like park opens at 9 o'clock and they're like, oh, we'll get there by 11 or noon. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we will be there at 8:30.
And that's like with early magic hours, and the park doesn't actually
Yeah.
open until
Those are
9.
always the best.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
late magic hours
sure.
are the best, though.
Yes, I do like those.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
RJ, what's your park planning pet peeve?
Winging your trip. Just like, hey, we're just going to go. Oh, yeah. Well, which parks are you going to visit? We're not really sure. Oh, which dining options did you get? Oh, we don't know. Are you going to do Lightning Lane? What's Lightning Lane? Like those sorts of things. Just
They've
like
done no research.
You're spending how much money, and like you don't know. Like my first trip, I was asking everybody all these questions. I was going with experienced Disney people. I had like watched every YouTube video imaginable before heading there, and even our daughter's first trip, like we almost prepared her and prepped her for what she was going to experience while she was there. And a lot of people think, oh, that would ruin the trip for me for my daughter's first trip. It didn't ruin the trip at all. In
No.
fact, it made it so much better because we prepped her for all the things, and we made sure that those scary moments were going to be not so scary, and we know that those fun moments, we made it even more fun, because seeing a YouTube video is one thing, but getting to experience that in person is another thing. So it's kind of like building on the hype, and then when you get to actually experience it, it makes it so much more fun. Plan. It drives me nuts when people don't plan.
Those people that don't do any research, I like to mess with, and I'm like, oh yeah, big Thunder Mountain. The best part is when they shoot you out of the cannon and then you land into the river. I'm like, that is the best part. Or like in the Haunted Mansion, where they're like, and they have a cast member that'll follow you around the park the entire time. That's what I like to
Yes.
do, just to like tip them off.
Yeah.
I'm going to start telling people, and the show that you've got to see is Country Bears.
But that's true, so don't tell them that.
No. My word.
I'm going to be like, the show you never need to watch is Country Bears.
That's just untruthful at that point.
All right. Our next category is going to be our queue line preferences, or pet peeves. Our queue line pet peeves. I said preferences.
Why we should go with Ick instead.
Yeah, it is just it's more recognizable. It's everything's just better. about
Okay.
it.
What are your queue line pet peeves, Noah?
So it's the people that get in the line for Flight of Passage when it says a 6-hour wait, and like, we've been waiting 5 hours to get on this ride. Yes, yes, you have.
You knew
Because
what you were
it's
getting
what I
into.
I know that. Like it just gets like, we've been waiting almost 45 minutes. Well, yeah, it said 120 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
what did you expect?
Right.
And like they're telling the cast member, we've been waiting 45 minutes, and the ride broke down. Yes, that happens actually. Sorry if he hadn't told you. But those
Sorry
people are just
we
awful.
didn't prep you for the fact that the ride was going to break down. We really wanted it to right now. Like,
It was in the schedule. No one told you? Oh, I'm so sorry.
yeah, we just made you wait for 45 minutes, pay $200, and yeah, it was
Yeah.
unintentional. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, mine for this category is when you have the one person who is waiting in line for the rest of the family.
Oh my goodness.
And then the rest of the family starts cutting through, but it's not like they cut through. It's like they're cutting through an hour's worth of a line
Yeah.
to get up to their family member so that they can ride the ride. Those are the most annoying people because we're all waiting. We're all waiting patiently. We've been waiting with our whole family, with our, 3-year-old, 4-year-old daughter
In 90-degree
at the time
weather.
that we went
Yeah.
in 90-degree weather, and then they're just walking past all of us and like pushing people out of the way to get ahead. And it's never just one person. Like, I would be forgiving if it was like one person and their kid because their kid had to go to the restroom or something like that. Totally understand, you should do that. But when it's like 6 people and
Yeah.
they're all cutting the line to
Yeah.
meet up with that one family member, that's where I'm like, seriously, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
those
And then
people
they're
irritate me.
obnoxious in line. You know what I
Yes,
mean by
yes.
that? Like,
They're
Then they-
loud and
they're loud or they played the little heads up game.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Not that
Yep,
that's
yep.
bad. I mean, do what you need to do.
No, but
like,
they're the ones that are
yeah.
the like most obnoxious in the line.
Yeah.
The rest of the
Which
time.
kind of
miss
like
out on the good-
segues into my biggest pet peeve in lines is when people don't fill in the dead space, which is what they call it on
Yes.
Haunted Mansion. It's like, please fill in the dead space in front of you. And they don't. They like leave 5 people links between them and the party in front of you. I'm like, move,
Yes.
people, move up. I hate
I know
that
I'm
so
not going
much.
to get on the ride 5 seconds faster, but just the empty space drives me
Drives me
insane.
nuts. I can't stand it.
Well, and two, like if it's raining, that's where it gets even worse because if it's
Yes.
raining and they have the opportunity to go inside, but they're not paying attention, and there's people standing out in the rain waiting in this ride queue, it's just like move, like get
Yeah.
inside so that the rest of the people can stand inside sooner and get under that cover. That just drives me
Yeah.
nuts.
I hate that.
All right. Our next pet peeve is ride experience pet peeve. I want to go first, and this is a pet peeve of mine. When you pay for PhotoPass and you get the wrong photo for your PhotoPass.
Yeah, some guy's photo, not yours.
I like that. I think it's the funniest thing ever. Because it's just like, you get to print it out, and then you can hang it on your wall, and your family's like, who's that? I don't know.
You're
It's
kind of
just showed in
like,
my thing.
like Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. She just goes to the
Yes, where
beach and
she
take a picture of all these random fat people. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just funny because you can hang it up and feel like, oh, wow, you guys were really young or look really different. Than I'm like, I mean, yeah, if that was me, but like, it's not. It just is a great conversation starter, you know?
I will say my favorite ride photo, though, was of the whole elevator on Tower of Terror. And
Oh,
there's
those
this
are the
one guy
best.
who's just like terrified, and he's this big dude. It just
No, yeah,
That
that,
one-
one is good.
that one
but we
is
were
so
in that
good.
picture, though. I
But
do
we were in
love
that
Tower
picture.
of Terror. In fact, some of my students are at Disney right now, and they just sent me a hilarious Tower of Terror picture. I should show you guys.
But
It is so
yeah,
good.
getting the wrong photo. Like, I understand when they're like, please select from your photo out of these 4 pictures. Like, that I'm totally cool with. It's when like you get some random dude and you're like, this isn't me.
Right.
That's when I get
Yeah.
annoyed. And it's like, where's my Tiana's Bayou photo that I wanted and waited 3 hours in line for, and now
Yeah.
I don't get. I got some random dude's picture. That's where it gets irritating.
Right,
I think it's
Sometimes
hilarious.
though, I will say that Disney is very good about getting it to you a few hours later, like recognizing it and correcting the issue. So there's sometimes hope that that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So
It very rarely, very rarely have I gotten somebody else's rather than mine. It's usually like
Yeah.
mine
It's very
and somebody
rare.
else's. Yeah.
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 Jocelyn, what's yours for
Okay,
ride?
I
pet
hate
peeves?
it when people are like capturing their moment on a ride and it's a dark ride and they're using flash video the whole time. And so like
Yeah.
you're in like this dark room like a haunted mansion and it's like you're going around What's her name? The crystal ball.
I'm waiting.
Madam Leota.
Madam Leota. You're going around Madam Leota, and you just see like this guy sitting in his bucket with the flash.
No, it's not like that. It's always the guys that are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're trying to
That was
get a
perfect.
video of their family in the next cart, like, hey. Oh my
Oh,
word.
look here. Oh my
those
word.
are people.
We just
I pray
waited
that their
2
phone falls
hours for
down
this.
during the ride. I pray their phone falls down, and then I don't
Turn
care
the
if they have to
flash.
shut the ride down. If they have to shut the ride down and get the phone, I do not care. If it falls down, it's like, good. Yeah, you deserve that actually. You know.
Yeah. Turn the flash off.
Yes,
off.
and it always happens on the worst rides. Like it always happens on the Haunted Mansion or the Pirates, where
Little
you're
Mermaid.
like really loving the ride, and it's one
Yeah.
of those dark rides, and then you turn a corner and you've got a blinding flash in your eyes, and it's like, come on.
Turn the flash off.
Yes. No, what's your ride pet peeve?
Okay, my ride pet peeve is whenever people say, that ride was more intense than I thought, when the name is Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror. They're like, man, I didn't know it would go up and down like that. So you didn't see the people screaming. Oh, sorry. You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
You know what I
Why?
learned today that I think is funny is that Barnstormer is, Space Mountain is not that much faster than the Barnstormer, Goofy's Barnstormer.
Barnstormer.
Like the-
People lose hats on that ride like crazy.
Yeah. It's
No
like
one's expecting
23
it to go
miles
as
an-
fast as what it does.
no, it does
Yeah.
actually go pretty fast.
Yeah, I just thought that was incredible. It was like 3 miles difference between those two rides. And it's like, wow, for being a Space Mountain, one of the top thrill rides, it's not that much faster than Barnstormer.
It used to
which
be
is
a lot
Goofy.
faster.
Space Mountain did?
Yeah, it used
No.
to go like 45
Oh.
miles an hour. Like when it
Oh,
first
really?
opened. Yeah, it was like
Man.
I
kind
think-
of crazy.
Well, I'm kind of glad it's not, because those bobsleds
Oh, yeah.
would be rough if it went any faster.
That's
like
how it
you were
broke that
talking
guy's
about
spine
where,
one time.
Yeah, I would believe that.
That is terrifying.
but when you're riding the ride, it feels super fast. I don't know why that is,
No,
but it does
feels
feel,
fast.
feels-
It is fast.
It's because
also feels like you're
yeah.
gonna
you
be
raise your hand, you feel like your
decapitated.
fingers. Yeah, your fingers are gonna get chopped off. That's why if I'm ever riding Space Mountain, I never have my hands up because I'm afraid.
I don't either.
I'm gonna
I hold on
lose
and I
them.
duck. I'm like sitting like this the whole time.
It's like the actual
Yeah.
bobsleds. You're kind of like,
singing cool running songs the whole
Yes.
way.
exactly. Love Cool Runnings.
I do too. That is a great movie.
All right, moving
What were
on
we
to park. We're moving on to park etiquette pet peeves. What's your park etiquette pet peeves? Jocelyn, what's yours?
I become livid when people are rude
Really?
to cast members. I hate it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate it. Because, and I get, like, you have, like, a sour cast member every now and then. Very rare. Very rare. Okay? It's not the Disney, motto. But those people are, like, the nicest people. They're there to make sure that your trip is magical. They're going to go out of their way to help you. Don't be rude to them. Like, this is their job. They're not here to
Yeah.
serve you. You know what I mean?
They're
Stop
also
being
in 90-degree
entitled.
weather. And they,
Yeah, all
Yes.
day.
yeah, it's
every day.
They're doing everything you are doing, but probably a little worse because they have to deal with you.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be rude to people. Like, that's
and well,
just not.
and like,
yeah.
when you're in the 90-degree weather and you've got the cooling towels and the fans around you, and you're trying to like do everything possible, drinking water every 5 seconds, like sometimes they don't get to do that, and they have to stand out in the beating down sun, and they're more miserable than you are, and they've walked the same distance that you have, and yet they're still doing it with such kindness and like
Always kind,
and just
yeah.
professionalism. And then that one person who's entitled goes up to them and starts yelling at them for no reason other than they're miserable, and it's like, just be kind. Like, this is the one place where you should be. So yeah, I
Right.
totally agree with that. For sure. Noah, what's your park etiquette pet peeve?
Mine jumps right off where Jesslyn leaves off, because my pet peeve, ick as we say, is whenever people are, I don't know, let's say the fireworks are happening and the cast members are laying down tape and someone runs on their tape and drags it away without saying anything and doesn't even look back.
I didn't know. Oh, I was mean to a cast member and I didn't even know it. It's terrible.
For anyone not knowing, one time I was coming to the park to Magic Kingdom to watch Happily Ever After with all of them after I went to the hotel for a second. And on the way up from Main Street, I see someone running through the crowd like something's on fire, holding 3 things of coffee from Starbucks. And this cast member is laying down tape to make sure traffic can flow and like designating sections for people to stand in. And this person just steps on the tape, it sticks to their shoe, and she just kind of drags it away and runs off. Later, I figured out it was Jesslyn the entire time.
I get back. I'm back
so
at our
funny.
fireworks spot and I have everyone's coffee. Noah comes running up. Jesselyn, was that you with the tape?
I wish I videoed it. That cast member was it was in such bewilderment of what happened. They were so confused.
So is Jesselyn.
Yeah. It was so bad.
Oh man.
Mine is totally different from your guys's, but mine is the slow walkers in the park. Like those people who like are just like, I get that there's a vacation level to it, so you're taking your time, but these are the people that just like will stand in a group of 5, like, you know, a big group
In the middle of the walkway.
and they're blocking the whole walkway and you can't get around them, and they're just like walking around as slow
Waltzing.
as possible, and it's like just move. And they're
Yeah.
like got two scooters and 2 strollers, you know, like
That was us on our
It's
last
just-
trip. How many scooters do we have in our group?
2 scooters, 1 stroller last time.
One stroller,
But-
2 scooters.
But we moved.
But yeah, those are the types
move.
we moved. We
move.
always move, but these people just don't move at all.
They're
and
also
that
the same people that
drives me
just stand in the middle of Main Street, not taking a picture, not getting anything to eat. They're just kind of standing there and talking.
With their
Yeah.
paper maps.
Yes. Yes. It's like, if you're going to do that, just
here.
move off to the side. Come on. Like, let the rest of us go by and move off to the side. But yes, that one drives me
It's always
insane.
a lot of times when we pass people like that, RJ and I, in our most humble way, say they are not Disney people.
Yeah.
They do not come here much.
And we'll do that couple, like, give each other the look like,
We have before, like, when a slow walker's in front of us, we have split and walked around them and gone back in front of them again.
oh, we do that quite often. Yeah, it's pretty normal for us.
Because when it's ready, when we're done with one ride, man, we're off to the next. Like,
Yep.
there is no time to waste.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to food and dining pet peeves. So food and dining pet peeves. Noah, what's your food and dining pet peeve?
So I do have ice in my mouth, so, you know, that's okay. But,
I can move on to mine. We'll come back to you. I'll do mine. So mine is when people go to a quick service and they think that it's like a table service, and so they'll just leave their trash on the table. Like, clearly you can tell there are trash cans everywhere with trays on top of it. It doesn't take but 2 seconds to throw away your trash, but they often will leave it. And look, half the time at quick service restaurants, like the one at Hollywood Studios where you've got like Rosie's All American and all those different restaurants right there, like on the path to a Tower of Terror, like that quick service outdoor restaurant, a lot of times they'll have cast members going and picking up people's trays before they're like when they're finishing up and they're just sitting there drinking water or something.
Yeah.
But like, so that's awesome, but that's not everywhere. So take a look around. If you see people picking up their trash, if you don't see a cast member around, just pick up your own trash and throw it away. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that to somebody else, or like somebody else trying to find a table and now they have to clear off your trash before they can sit at the table.
Yeah.
And look, if you mess on your table, like you have crumbs everywhere, just wipe them off before you leave. Come on. Like,
Yeah. Clean up after
I hate
yourself.
it when we have to take out like Clorox wipes.
I mean,
and
well, that's why we
wipe down
bring
a
our own
table.
like wet wipes
Oh, yeah.
and stuff so we can clean up after
Yeah.
people.
It's terrible. We shouldn't have to do that. All right, now going back to Noah, who doesn't have ice in his mouth now.
This is
Noah,
Noah
what's
reporting
your
live.
biggest-
I do not have any ice in my mouth at this point in time. Mine kind of piggybacks off of yours, actually, because mine is whenever people just stand around a table of like a table of two at Casey's or something, and there's like 5 people standing around them, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can't get around because especially at Casey's, there's nowhere to move between the tables. Like
Right.
if you're
Yeah.
looking for a table, you can't walk. You have to like go, excuse
Right.
me, excuse me. Whenever there's like 5 people standing there, that's the worst. I've
Yeah.
maybe done that before, and I've asked for forgiveness of my past transgressions, but those people are the worst.
Well, can I add to yours, because that
Sure,
would
why not?
also be irritate me when like the people that are waiting on tables will stand there and just stand over people that are eating their
Hover
meal
you,
and just
yeah.
like look over you
They're like the birds.
Are you done with the table? And it's like I just sat down with my drink and my food and you're asking me if I'm done with my table. No, I just sat down to eat and I'm going to take my time and drink my water
Yeah.
afterwards.
Right.
Oh, that drives me insane.
Yeah.
Just what's yours?
Well, mine is when you're at a quick service and people move chairs from one table to another table and then they don't put the chairs back. So like you're coming up and you're looking for a table to sit at, and then lo and behold, there's a table with no chairs. That's my pet peeve.
Over time, it's just been picked at slowly until all of a sudden they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's annoying as all get out. All right. Next is merchandise and shopping pet peeves. I want to go first with this one. I love Disney clothing, but their sizing is off. I don't know what it is about their sizing.
It is
It's
off.
really
Like
bad.
my normal size, if I were to buy my normal size, it never fits me. I always have to buy one size up, and then it's too big on me. Like, I just feel like their sizing is never just like right on, unless you're buying like a Spirit jersey. I feel like those are the only ones
But
that are somewhat
even
okay.
at the Spirit jerseys, like they're big up top, like they're
Yeah.
normal fit, but in the waist where they're supposed to sit on your hips, like they're very tight. So
Yeah, I
it's
just
like,
feel like
they're
they're
not
uncomfortable.
proportioned well.
Yeah. I just feel like they're always off. I don't know what it is about
Yeah.
it. Jocelyn, what's yours?
I can't stand it when like somebody is in one of these gift shops and they are buying a ton and a ton of stuff just to go resell it when they get home. Like especially like popcorn buckets, like at the Halloween party, like people were waiting forever to get tons and tons of Halloween buckets. And they were just going to go home and sell them again. And then, once they sell out at the Halloween party, there's no more. And so these people who are like spending extra money to get in the parks to get like this popcorn bucket because they want to remember their trip by it or whatever, they can't because some person just went and bought a bunch of them so they could resell it on eBay when they got home. I hate that.
Yeah, that happened with Splash
And they
Mountain
usually-
plushes. Like years ago,
Really?
they had a special bundle where you could get all 3 Splash Mountain plushes. People were walking out with bags of 30 of them. Like these giant Disney Parks bags. It was awful.
No.
And
Well, like
those
we
types
are
of
even a
people-
part of like these like Facebook like Disney annual pass groups, and that's what they were doing. They were like, I got 3 of these popcorn buckets. Message me if you want one. And I'm like, no, that's terrible.
Yeah. And then those are the types of people that'll bring 2 or 3 if there's a limit on a product. They'll
Yeah.
bring 2 or 3. They'll bring 2 family members plus themselves. And so there's a limit of 2. They'll act like they don't know each other the whole line. And then they'll go buy 6 of them for 3 people. And then they'll go and sell all of them but one.
Right.
And it's like, oh, man, you just ruined it. And then you're making the lines longer for this exclusive gear.
Right.
You're making the lines longer for everybody else. Yeah, I agree with that one. that one can be a little bit aggravating. Noah, what's yours?
Mine
Merchandise
is
pet peeve.
the people who complain that Disney merch is either too expensive or it's only Disney, like IP. It's like, what else were you thinking? Tell me. Like, do you think you're going to get a Pottery Barn pot here? No, you're going to get a Disney
Harry
World
Potter
pot.
gear or
Those are the same people that are
I
like,
saw
"Now,
this,
where was the Harry Potter Hogwarts castle? I thought that was here." It's like,
I saw this video right before we started recording of this guy that's like, I'm not going to complain about Disney raising their prices. What am I going to do? Not go? I'm like, yeah, exactly.
we just might go less often, but we're still going.
That's funny.
That's a good one. All right, jumping on to the next one. It's transportation pet peeves.
I'd like to
Just
go
what's
first.
yours?
I like to go first.
I don't. I know what this one's gonna be.
Everyone hear
I
me
think we all
loud
know.
and no. Everyone hear me loud and clear. My
loud. You're definitely the
biggest
first one.
pet peeve is when people drive to Magic Kingdom instead of taking another form of transportation, and they
I'm
have
still
to
gonna
get
drive next
lost
time.
and they go to the whatever, and it's terrible. That's fine. You
The
drive.
TTC.
You go ahead and drive. I'm gonna take a
and
bus.
the tape. This and the tape will be recording things throughout the entirety of this podcast. But yeah, I totally agree. I think I've only ever driven to Animal Kingdom and maybe Hollywood in the first few
I don't
times
have
we
a
went.
problem driving to any of the other parks because it's very easy, very simple to deal with. Magic Kingdom is not. It is stressful and it's not easy. Take a bus.
It's not as fun.
Take a boat. Take the monorail. Do something else.
Yeah. I have more to
Yeah.
say, but I'll say it on my turn.
All right, Noah,
Noah,
what's
go
your
ahead.
transportation pet peeve?
So I had real life experience with this one, which was terrifying. On the same trip, getting to Magic Kingdom before the Great Tape Ending happened, I was riding the monorail from the Polynesian to the Magic Kingdom. This guy jaunts onto the monorail, and as we're going, they do the spiel about don't lean on the doors and whatnot. He is fully resting on that door, on the monorail door, while we are moving. I texted everyone. I said, we're either getting free DVC or lifetime of therapy. I'm not sure which one it is. But it's the people who don't follow the instructions on the transportation.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
hang
my
over the side of
word.
the ferry or, like, lean on the doors of the monorail or anything. Like, just listen, please. This is for all of our safety. Disney isn't telling you this just to limit your freedoms. They're telling you this because they had bad experiences from the past. As the monorail doors falling off at one point was one of those.
This is live,
I know.
But mine,
Tempt the
I
fates.
have to add on to Jesselyn's with mine. And my biggest pet peeve in transportation is riding the buses at the end of a park day. I would rather ride the boat, ride the monorail, ride the Skyliner, ride anything but the buses at the end of the park day. Like, you get out of Fantasmic, you get out of the Happily Ever After, you get out of those giant shows at the end of the day, and then you have to go cram into a bus. And sure, Jesselyn loves it. Her and Bella go sit in a chair. It's beautiful for them. Meanwhile, I'm over here struggling to break down this stroller and get it on the bus, and then by the time I get on there, I'm like hitting everybody's knees on the way up the aisle to get to the back door so that I can stand by the back door after I've been at a park all day, stand at the back door, and some guy's armpit is in my face, and I'm smelling his BO from being in the 90-degree weather all day, and I'm just standing there like holding my arm up, so he's smelling my armpit, I'm smelling his armpit, and we're just like not having a great time. So I would rather take a boat, take a monorail, take a Skyliner, or take your own car that's air conditioned than ride a bus any day.
This seems like, is this from personal experience? I'm not sure. I can't tell you.
Yes.
But you have to ride the buses at night at least one trip to
love
get that
riding the
memory
buses.
in there. Because at
Okay, I
night they
will
have
say-
a different soundtrack. It's all everyone's hot and sweaty. It's like this whole experience that you have to do at least once to remember how much you don't like it or how much it's awful.
Right.
Yes.
One time, I think it was when we were leaving Magic Kingdom. It was after a Magic Kingdom day. We were getting on the bus. Bus is packed. There was 2 seats. I grabbed one for me and Bella, and I sat down, and my hip is touching the lady's hip next to me. And she's like freaking out. She's looking at me and she's like, "You're sitting on me. You're sitting on me." And I was like, "I am not sitting on you." It was like the craziest experience I have ever had. And so I just like pushed Bella over and I'm like sitting half in my chair so I can get away from this lady. That was not enjoyable.
That's
Yeah.
an experience. That's definitely,
Yeah.
that was, wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to unpack that.
Yeah, I do not like the buses at all. Like, if I can avoid them and ride the ferry boat or the monorail and drive to the parks, I will do it every time over riding a bus.
I do have to
now,
say-
if I'm at a
Those bus
go ahead.
audios are the best. Like
Yeah,
the
they're cool.
music,
They are good.
the audio, everything is awesome about those. I don't know why only the buses get those and not anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like the monorail doesn't have them. The monorail's like soundtrackless. It needs a soundtrack for
Yeah.
when you're going one destination to the next. But the
Yeah.
buses have the best audios, and I don't know why. But the new ones are even better. Have you seen those?
Like the new bus covers?
No,
Yes.
there's new buses. They have
no.
like
Uh-oh.
little
I haven't seen 'em.
USB ports and like charging stuff. It's all
Yes.
new teched
Oh, that's
out, and they
cool.
have
I
better
saw
AC.
one of those. Yeah, I saw one
yeah,
of those.
they're very nice. They're actually, and they have new chairs too.
Our last couple of trips, I don't think we rode the buses at all. I think we just
Not
did
in
the,
September.
drove
We
into the
didn't.
park.
I don't remember about June. I don't know.
I feel like we
I
just
think
drove.
we did at least to Magic Kingdom in June because September was our first time driving to Magic Kingdom.
Maybe. I don't remember.
I think that scarred her brain. I think you should trust her on this. That it was. It's kind
All
of
right,
in there.
we'll move on to resort pet peeves. No, what's your resort pet peeve?
1 second. Ah, there it is. So one of my pet peeves is whenever you're for breakfast, whenever you get into the hotel for the cafeteria, and most Disney resorts have Coke Freestyle machines now, which are very advanced. They scan your cup and everything. I hate it whenever they work properly and the water cup you can get for free does not work with the Coke Freestyle machine.
Yes. No, I've had that
yes.
happen.
I'm
It's
trying to cheat
annoying.
the system. Just let me.
But I think they should let you get water.
Yeah, there's one freestyle in all of the resorts I found that work that way, and you have to find them, and it is the best hide and seek because you're just like, huh, you paid for your cup? Not me. I get Cokes for free.
Oh, that's a good one. Mine is it has to do with driving actually. And when you're driving into the actual resort, sometimes they'll have, after you've checked in, these little badge areas where you can like scan your pass or your magic band, but they never seem to work. Like every time I try it, they never seem to work for me, and a cast member has to come over and badge it in himself, and it barely works for him. To the point where one time when I told the cast member, I said, "Hey, these gates don't work with my magic band, and I've tried it a few times, so that's why I just started coming to you." And they looked at me and they said, "Can you complain to the front desk about this? Because we complain as security office all the time, and it just never gets fixed." And so now we're having to badge just about everybody in. So like even the security guards were annoyed with this one
Yeah,
thing,
it
where
was
it's like
bad.
you couldn't badge in to get into it. So you always had to go through the security guard, which made that line of cars extra long, because if somebody's checking in for the first time, they have to go through that. They have to talk to the security guard. If they're checking in for a restaurant reservation, then you have to pull out your ID, show it. It's like a whole process that you shouldn't have to go through. They have a system in place. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so they just need to fix their technology for that, because that drives me insane. Jessalyn, what's yours?
I love me a bus. I do love the bus. However, I don't like it when the bus stop is really far from your hotel room. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like the resorts need to kind of figure out a better system for that. I know at some resorts like Caribbean Beach, I feel like Caribbean Beach has the perfect transportation because you're either very close to the Skyliner or you're very close to the bus stops. And because Caribbean Beach is so big, like there's bus stops everywhere. So we've never been far from a bus stop there. But the last time we stayed at Riverside, which we love Riverside, we never even found our bus stop. There was a sign for it. We couldn't even find it. I think that's why we ended up just driving, because like all that walking was just a waste of our time when we could have just driven. But
I also hate it whenever there are multiple bus stops at a resort. I'm kind of spoiled with French Quarter because there's only one bus stop in the entire resort.
Right.
But I don't like it whenever people can get off the bus earlier than me and I can't. So I'm just like, yeah, you thought so. You thought you were cool? I bet you were one of those people that stepped on cast member tape. Yeah.
okay, Noah.
Oh, and I feel like the first night, it's like, wait, is this my bus stop? Oh, I don't remember. You know, and then you're kind of a
Animal
little bit
Kingdom
confused
always
from
has
that.
all the buses. It's like when you need to go to like Magic Kingdom or
Yes.
whatever park you need to go to. It never shows up. It's like Animal Kingdom has 5 buses before your bus ever shows up.
Well, and the
Or
other
Typhoon
thing,
Lagoon.
like, yeah, that too.
Yep.
The other one that irritates me is like when you go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and you stay at the lodge, and that one is the longest walk ever to get to the bus stop. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I was walking in the whole park distance just to get to my
Yeah.
room. So that one was really irritating. All right, our last category is Disney adult pet peeves. Disney adult pet peeves. I want to go first with this one and say that my biggest pet peeve with Disney adults is the Disney adult influencers. Like the ones who come in and who, this is a once in a lifetime trip for their family, and the family standing next to them, and they're blocking their castle picture because they want to get their vlog in or their YouTube video in. Like, I'm a Disney adult. I love Disney. I love Disney parks. I'm not going to get in the way of somebody else's family once in a lifetime moment and block them from something that's important to them because I want to get my B-roll footage for my social media.
Yeah.
Like, put it down and just let that family have their moment and find a secluded spot where you can have that moment where you can shoot your social media stuff without getting in the way of somebody else's trip. But yeah, that's mine. Jessalyn, what's yours?
Mine sounds kind of mean. But
Really?
I really am bothered when people claim to be Disney adults, but they're not. You know what I mean by that? Like we'll be talking about Disney. Like, it's like, I don't know. People just know that we're Disney people, right? And so they'll come to us and they're like, oh, we have this thing in common. Let's talk about it. And so I'll talk with them as normal. And then they start making comments like they know things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it just, and I'm like, oh, that's not, no. Like, one time I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, we grew up going to Disney. Contemporary's the best resort. And I'm like, conversation over.
Since when?
Like,
Since
yeah,
1970?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
We love the
Even with the
Contemporary.
refurb, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, thank you. It's obviously
No.
the Polynesian and there's no questioning.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, and I think everybody would agree. I can never afford the Polynesian, but I do think the Polynesian is the best, and I love it. Noah, what's your Disney adult pet peeve?
Mine is the Disney adults that believe Disney World can do no wrong. Okay?
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yes.
I love Disney and I love everything Disney does, but they can do a lot of bad stuff. Like
Yep.
not
Yep.
not all of the rides they make are the best. Not all of the decisions they make are the best. Cough cough. Country Bears rebranded. Like
Country bears in general.
that was Walt Disney's idea. I'll have you know. But
Okay.
like I don't know. It just Disney has done some bad stuff, like doing Rivers of America redo. I like the Cars Land idea, but I want my boat. Thank you. I want the Rivers of America and the boat,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of Rivers of America going away. Oh, not again. Well, we wanted to end on a fun note. We asked everybody on social media what their biggest Disney pet peeves were, and we got some great responses and some terrible responses, Jared. Some of our listeners that like to hang out with us and responded on social media to our post. And so I think Jesselyn has those ready to share some of those social media post ones.
Okay, so Jasmine says that her husband's biggest ick is lightning lane. She said his exact words were, "I'm too broke and impatient to be there for 47 extra people in front of me." So does not like lightning lane.
Well, and I feel like they let 10
ahead.
people through for every one regular guest. And
I
so
will
it feels
say
like,
lines moved much faster when there wasn't a lightning lane.
yeah, that's true.
She also
Yeah.
added that one time she is very cautious around cast members, even though she's like, I'm sure they're really nice. But one time a cast member told her a different time for Happily Ever After than what it really was. And when they actually got to the show, it was when Tinkerbell was flying out of the castle. And so she was like, that was just really disappointing for our trip. Yeah.
That's awful.
Oh, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our listener Juliet agreed with you, RJ, or maybe it was Noah who said when people just stop in the middle of the walkway, like, no,
Yeah.
pull over. Who do you think you
Yeah.
are?
Find a spot.
Yeah. Go off to the side.
Daniel also agreed with RJ. He said people who are just catching up with their group who just happens to be standing in the front of the line and like skipping everybody.
Oh, drives me insane. I'm telling you.
Jared. Oh, Jared.
Yeah, we could just skip over that one.
Jared
That was
had
a great
several.
podcast. That was a great one.
And now,
Jared had 4 that he posted, and then several his wife posted for him. So let's go through some of these.
Oh,
He said this
Like
one
in a
was
drink.
targeted towards us. Are you ready? Saving
You want
seats
some
for
ice?
fireworks or parades 2 hours early.
we definitely do that.
We have done it before. Yes.
Yeah. We want
People
our
being
spot.
rude or lashing out to cast members.
Yeah.
When people took advantage of the DAS pass, which we are all
Yeah.
very upset about that, right? Because we can't use it anymore.
no. Now it's impossible to get.
It is impossible. He also said whenever a door in a ride queue opens and people rush in as if we aren't all going to make it anyway.
Now that one I agree with.
That's an
Yeah,
awesome
that
one.
one's good.
That's 100% I agree with that one.
He also added that when people do a quick service and they save their table before ordering, which is funny now because I don't think maybe mobile ordering was a thing when the last trip that he went on.
Yeah.
But like that's what we do. We go,
Yeah.
we find a table and we mobile order, and then we go pick up our food.
Yep. Definitely do that.
Yeah.
This one's
But I
for
will
you.
agree. I do want to say that I will agree with the whole table, not the table saving thing, but the rushing thing. The worst ride for that is Haunted Mansion, where we're all going
Yes.
into the elevator, or Guardians,
Yes.
the pre-show for Guardians. They all think they know where the door is and they rush. And I've been guilty of doing that too. But like when you're pushing little kids out of the way, come on, man.
Yeah.
Haunted
All right.
Mansion pre-show is very easy to find the door to, by the way. You just look for the red light in the corner.
Yeah. You're good. We do that. We rush towards that, don't we? Okay.
All right.
This one's for you, Noah. Jared said
Oh, no.
his Disney ick is when people insist that Animal Kingdom is a full day park.
Clocked me. He clocked me. I'm surprised one of his wasn't whatever people think Nemo is a good show because he hates the Nemo musical. So.
That's true. All right, we got 2 more from Jared. All right.
Oh my goodness, when will
Jared-
they stop?
Listen, it was an all afternoon thing.
He didn't work this afternoon, did he?
Okay, Disney Ick, raising prices, discontinuing old fast pass system, bubble wands. Yes.
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 Oh,
Yes.
Bubble wands can say
Especially
goodbye.
when the
I will
parents
agree
like
with that.
let your face get hit in a line for the whole line queue because their kid is playing with it. Like, just stop.
Yes.
Like, just let them play with it at home. Stop.
Oh my goodness, bubble wands are the worst. And I will say I miss
Yes.
the fast pass system. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it
yeah,
back.
Please, Disney, bring it
I
back.
did get a bubble staff at one point, and it was very cool, I must say. It
I
wasn't
think I
a bubble
remember you
wand.
telling me
It was
about that.
Yeah, it was like 3 feet tall almost. It was huge. It was like a sword. I hit everyone with it.
No. Okay. Jared agreed with you, RJ. People who don't have their stroller unpacked when the bus arrives.
Yes, that's the worst when
That
they're
is the
waiting on
worst.
everybody.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Jules said the temps and the smells of some of the bathrooms give her the ick.
Yeah,
On those hot
I
summer
would agree to
days,
that.
yeah, it's rough, especially
Yeah,
Hollywood
Epcot
Studios
is the most
bathrooms.
notorious. Epcot and Hollywood are the most notorious
Yes.
for
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
Epcot's probably worse. I would agree with that.
Not the
Yep.
Rapunzel bathroom though.
No, Tangled
Nope.
Toilets is the best.
That's true. All right, Julie said getting hit in the ankles with the stroller.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying.
I wanted
Although
to
I have
add
hit
to
a
this.
few people in
Oh
the-
yeah, we stroller people think we rule the world.
Also, this is an honorable mention. Also, the people in ECVs that run over your feet. Those things are like
Oh, yeah.
900 pounds. Excuse you, I know you're elderly, but I don't care personally. My foot
Right.
is not elderly.
Right.
See, but half the time when I hit somebody in the ankle with a stroller, it's because they tried to cut in front of me, and then like with their whole family, and like I'm gonna keep walking at the same pace that I was before, and if I hit you in the ankles, it's really your fault. So just saying.
We've got
Stroller
2
person
more.
alert.
Addie says slow walkers for sure. They are
Yes.
definitely the worst. And then Cindy and Sierra kind of teamed up here on theirs. Cindy says when people think they can squeeze in your spot at the last minute for fireworks. And then Sierra says when they when they step on your hand as they're squeezing in because you're all
yeah,
sitting.
that's the worst.
Yeah.
Yes, not fun at all. Anyways,
Yeah.
those were our listeners, Disney icks.
Yeah, those were some good ones. Some of those ones
Great
agreed
icks.
with us really for what we had said during this
Yeah.
episode. So
Right.
yeah, that's definitely good. Well, we've already gone way over our time, so this has been.
normally
You see
do.
how passionate. You see how passionate we are about our pet peeves. But yeah, let us know some more if you have some more when we post this episode. Let us know in the comments what you think and what your biggest pet peeves are for sure. We are now on YouTube, so like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Carousel of Conversations. We'll be sharing that on our social media as well through our link tree, so you can click on all the links and see where everything is at. So if you follow us on one of those, definitely check that out. And now we are not going to switch to the same pre-recorded message we played last week.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our show. Before you go, please don't forget to gather your belongings and head over to our email at carouselpod@gmail.com to ask us your questions. Oh, and wouldn't you believe it? You can now bring the magical sense of vacation right into your home. Check out the Magic Candle Company and use our exclusive link with the code CarouselPod at checkout to get 15% off your order. And don't forget, we're here to help you plan your future Disney trips. Just send us a message at rj@famvia.com. Until next time, we'll see you in a great, big, beautiful week.